Hey folks, Nathan here. So this is maybe going to be less of a cheery video. I've been asked a few times about coming out and how that was for me, particularly in midwifery, coming out to colleagues, and how I did come out and how it went down, and the reaction that I've had. So when I was training, I was I'm not going to name where I trained or the trust or anything, but I was in a university near London and at a trust in London when I was training, and I did actually try and publicly come out then. It was between my two children, and if you've seen some of my other videos, that was the first time that dysphoria really hit me hard. And when that dysphoria was high, I kind of figured out, okay, I was probably trans, and I started telling people and I started being honest about it. And the place that I went every day and socialised and met people was in uni. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, I don't feel like it went very well. Maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe I wasn't ready to be out, and that was part of it. But, so, I think I did a Facebook post, but not on my main page, because there were certain members of my family that I wasn't ready to tell yet. So I actually did a post in the university student group on Facebook about, hey, this is how I feel, this is how I'm going to present now, and this is why, and I prefer to be called this name and these pronouns. And unfortunately, it didn't go very well. My peers at uni, I mean, it's fair enough that they didn't know what it was or how to talk to me, but what I felt happened was that people started seeing me as a bit of the odd one out, a bit of a weirdo, and I just found myself sitting on my own a lot, and I don't even know, it felt very isolating, and it felt like maybe people didn't know how to talk to me, maybe worried about saying the wrong thing, but what that turned into was not talking to me at all. And obviously if I talked to them, they would answer, but I was never included in people's conversations in the same way anymore. And I had quite a few difficult comments, so because I was still struggling, sometimes I would, after coming out, I might come to university still in a dress or whatever, and I was told things like, you can't be a boy if you wear that, you can't be a boy if you have cleavage that I can see, as a joke, it was, you can't be a boy if you've got cleavage like that, love. So quite objectifying in the way I looked, what I was wearing, like that was really relevant, and yeah, just didn't go great. And then something that happened when I was at work, I sort of would start trying to say it because it was hurting every time I got called a lady or a girl. So my way of doing that was someone would say ladies and I would say I'm not a lady, and they'd go, oh yes you are, and I'd say no, I'm serious, I'm not, I don't identify with that, I actually feel like I'm a boy, and they just wouldn't answer, and they'd turn away and make a weird face. So yeah, I stopped saying it, never put it on my main Facebook, and kind of went back in the closet, especially then when I got pregnant, because I didn't think that people could handle me being pregnant and a boy, so I just went along with what they wanted me to be and what they expected me to be, and that was my first attempt at coming out. So then when I started my career, I was employed, and came down to the south coast. I wouldn't say where, but that's where I am. And I worked for 6, 7, 8 months before fully in the closet, fully presenting as a woman, long hair, and believe it or not, I know. And I had a lot of problems at work, being not myself, being not authentic meant that it affected my work quite badly, and I felt like people couldn't hear me or understand me, and it's so weird being in the closet. I can't even explain. I mean, I'm sure people watching this know what I'm talking about, or some people anyway, but yeah. So yeah, I got really frustrated and stressed, and I'd work slowly and messily because I was in a mess in my own brain. Anyway, I told a couple of colleagues, because they sort of get a hold of me and kind of go, "What's wrong? Why are you in this pickle?" Because I kept breaking down. I kept just crying on everyone. They go, "What is it?" And eventually I kind of go, "Well, I'm in the wrong body and no one knows," and it was just crap. Anyway, I actually ended up on concerns procedures at my job. I was only 6 months in, and I was put on, performance review first stage, because I was struggling on labour ward and the stress and stuff, and I'm sure that happens to lots of people, but I think part of it happened because I wasn't, because things were a mess inside as well, and no one could hear me and no one could see me. Anyway, so how did I come out? Eventually, so I kind of told a few colleagues, and they were, quite supportive, and I felt okay. So, and in my personal life, I was really starting to kind of get ready to post it. I know it's so funny that Facebook is like the be-all and end-all. Once you've come out on Facebook, you've come out. That's literally how it is. But the thing is, the reason it's like that is because you tell everyone you see every day, and some colleagues, but once you come out on Facebook, anyone can see it. It's like it's out there in the world. So yeah, that's what I did. I told all of my close family and everyone who should have known first. Everyone already knew, like my friends all knew, and then I just did a big post going, "Hey, this has always been me. Some of you know a very feminine version of me, some of you know a very masculine version of me, but this is me. I am he, I am a man, I always have been, and I use he, him pronouns." I also did a little bit for my colleagues at work. I explained that until I pass as male, until I'm read as male, I would never expect people that I'm caring for to be even concerned by what pronoun they use for me. So I explained to people at work, all I ask is that you use this name, but we can kind of leave the pronouns for now, because I'll still be using she her pronouns in front of clients. So I wouldn't then expect my colleagues to use he, because how are they going to use he at the desk and then go into a room and use she? And remember, it's so confusing. So I sort of said, I understand that, hey, and let's just try with the name if that's all right, because I'll feel at least a bit more comfortable. And yeah, and some 100 likes, 60 plus comments of, I'm so proud of you and we're here for you. Anyway, so then I go back into work the day after, and I literally, within a couple of hours in the morning on the ward, my line manager comes up to me and she's like, can I see you in my office in a bit? Nicely, but like still. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? And I thought it might be about my Facebook post, but I was like, really? What would my line manager want to know about that for? But it was. So I went into the office and I'm like, what's up? And she said, apparently there was a Facebook post and all of your colleagues aren't really sure what's going on and what to do. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to confuse people, I'm just being me. So I said, there was one comment she said that wasn't great, which was, I think you should have told us. It would have been nice to know first. And I'm like, but I'm coming out to my friends and family, and this is work and that's different. But anyway, everything else she said was so lovely. We just want to support you. If anything, it was a bit too much. I wasn't ready for it. She was like, oh, you could look over our trans staff policy and proofread it for me, and oh, you could get in touch with the trans ambassador for the trust and stuff. Very cool that we have that, etc. And we could all have a meeting together. And I'm like, oh, okay, I just wanted to change my name, to be honest. But she really supported me with changing my name with the staff. She even took my deed poll up to HR and got it all changed for me. It was so sweet, so that I could continue working on the ward. I mean, maybe she just needed me to stay on the ward, but it was still really generous and kind, and I felt really looked after. And yeah, all my colleagues, they kept coming to me and giving me a pat on the back or a hug, and saying, a lot of them said, oh, I'm worried I'm going to say the wrong thing. And I kind of reassured every person who said that, just don't, I said, you won't say the wrong thing. Just talk to me. I used to tell them about when I came out of uni and how everyone stopped talking to me. And I said, the wrong words are better than silence, so please don't worry about it. Just be yourself and I'll be me, and I'll tell you if I'd rather you said something else or something in a different way. And after, it probably took about a month before everyone that I met had kind of already made a comment or a smile or a hug or whatever. There was a few weird things. There were people who, obviously midwives are really curious and also very confident and open people, so they do ask questions, and they'll ask sometimes very intimate questions, and you need to be okay to say, I'd rather not talk about that at work, thanks though. But I did try, and I answered the questions because I was the only trans person that they ever knew that they'd met, and I did want to help them learn and understand, and so that hopefully that would be carried forwards. There were days when I wasn't really strong enough for it, but sort of the ones that it was kind of hard to talk to at first were way outbalanced by all of the love and the support. Yeah, so on the whole, I've had a really positive experience coming out at work. they all changed my name really quickly. Like, I didn't hear my old name very much at all after I changed it, and a lot of people kept reminding each other, which was really touching. Pronouns didn't change, but I'd not asked them to at first. Eventually they started to a bit round the desk and stuff, and actually that was really helpful for me. Now I've moved to Community, my new boss, which is not, my new manager, because you change manager when you change area, but absolutely amazing, using my name and pronouns. She preceded me arriving there, kind of briefing everyone, and they're all trying my pronouns now, and I just feel like I have really lucked out where I work. I'm very grateful every day. Yeah, I guess that was my coming out story, and that is how people have reacted. I hope that answers one of the questions on the Facebook post. Thank you.